Hey everyone, I'm here at my favorite coffee shop in Bellevue after a wonderful minister's retreat in which I did a session on holiness. And I wanted to talk in this video about bad attitudes. Many of you know I led a Master's Commission discipleship program at Bellevue from 1997 through 2000. And that was after 2 years of being in the ministry and a product of that program. And one of the things that program really helped me deal with was the bad attitudes in my life. As the leader, I would walk the students through a 2-month course on attitudes that was centered in Mark chapter 1 and 2. Now, many of you know I love the book of Mark. It's one of my favorite books of the Bible because it's just story after story of Jesus. There's no long genealogies or large teachings, but just stories about Jesus. When you read it, you fall in love with Jesus all over again. Maybe you need that in your life. Go to Mark. If you have new believers, send them to Mark, because falling in love with Jesus is something we need to do over and over and over again in our lives. Now, chapters 1 and 2 are stories where Jesus heals different people in different settings. He answers some questions of the crowds about what kinds of food should they eat and obeying the Sabbath. And he even calls the tax collector Matthew into his discipleship group. But there's 7 bad attitudes that rise to the surface in the people that respond to Jesus. There's stubbornness, there's jealousy, selfishness, apathy, spiritual pride, disrespect for leadership, and being rude and obnoxious. Whenever we went through that course, those behaviors would rise up in my students' lives, and we had to deal with them. And I think that was all part of God's plan, because often these attitudes go on unnoticed in the life of a minister. Sometimes we even think we have a right to them because of our family history or the culture we belong to. And then there's other times we call them a strength of our character even, because we think it's producing the results God wants. But what God wants is the fruit of the Spirit. All of those things contrast with those bad attitudes in a powerful way. So we need to pray and ask God to make us aware of the bad attitudes in our heart. We need to focus on trying to overcome them. But I'll tell you, one of the greatest ways to overcome bad attitudes is with the help of somebody else. That's why I love saying that one of the 7 major ways that we hear God's voice is through our accountable friends. Not people that just tell us what we want to hear, but people we love and trust who can be honest with us and correct us when necessary. People that can tell us no. Do you have somebody like that in your life? You need them. That's why we created our network groups, is to provide a place where you can meet people that could be that iron sharpening iron force in your life. And each of the group leaders have been trained to receive confession. So if you're going through something, you need help, stick around after your next group and privately tell them what's going on. They'll pray with you, support you. They've got tools from the Healthy Ministers team to help you out. And that can all stay private, working with you, unless it's something illegal or something that's hurting somebody else, in which case we certainly want to step in. I just want to encourage us to really focus on our attitudes, because those are the things that can really take us down in our course of ministry. Hey, until next time, always walk holy, work hard, and worship Him. God bless.